welcome back to Tuesday. Not welcome back to Tuesday, welcome back to the morning routine. It is Tuesday, May the 21st, and let's get right into some headlines, shall we? We shall. Here we go. There. Yeah, old man legs. Oakland is now the first in the U.S. to have 100% electric bus fleet, and it's V2G. I don't know what that is, but I do know this about Oakland. Oakland is also the first to lose all 3 major league teams. Woo! Whoa, that car really zipped through there. I think I got Ray 20 feet away from me. All right, moving on. Bluebell teases new flavor for the summer. Now, I don't know what Bluebell is. It's probably a business somewhere else that makes sweets and treats and all kinds of stuff, maybe even some hamburgers. But that is a picture of a root beer float. A wildly underrated and delicious treat in the summertime. You like root beer floats. Chloe likes root beer floats. They are great. They're a bit too much for me these days just because as I've gotten older, I don't like sweets, but root beer floats are really an underrated, great treat. More people should have root beer floats. Chloe and I are gonna go on a campaign for root beer float. Bring back the root beer floats. All right. Next up, Mike Tyson explains reason for shorter rounds in the Jake Paul fight, and I just got chills, according to the writer. Well, anytime you mention Mike Tyson, someone should get chills. Mike Tyson, although a gentle giant to some degree, is a scary individual, especially if you're talking about boxing and getting in the ring with him. Yeah, that should be an interesting fight. I'm sure it has to do with the longer the rounds go. I didn't read the article, to be fair, but the longer the rounds go, the more likelihood that someone, Jake Paul, is really going to get hurt. So, shorter rounds might reduce that. Anyway, here we go. We're going to go back in the bearded past with Zach. Hello everybody, how you doing out there? I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. I hope you guys, Monday was good as well, and I hope you guys are ready for a little going back in the bearded path with Zach today. And we're going to start with, in 1856, Lawrence, Kansas is captured and burned by pro-slavery forces. This was some of the prelude to the Civil War, the American Civil War. The Kansas and the Missouri territories, one was pro-slave, one was not pro-slave, and there was a lot of fighting, a lot of killing over there. Those of you who might follow the Civil War, Mr. John Brown actually was over in Lawrence, Kansas. He was actually killing people who were pro-slavery, and he eventually led to the taking of Harper's Ferry in 1861, or 59, which eventually led into the Civil War. But a lot of stuff happened over there. Lawrence, Kansas, and like I said, Kansas in general, Missouri in general. During the war and even after the war, a lot of stuff. Jesse James, after the war, went back over there. You had Paul Quantrill's Raiders over there. Very, very violent fighting. Very violent. Also, too, in 1863, a little American Civil War history today. The Union Army succeeds in closing off the last escape route from Port Hudson, Louisiana. So this was important because once they got rid of this escape route, they were able to then hone in on the siege of Vicksburg, eventually leading to the collapse of Vicksburg, which led to the Mississippi completely closed off to the Confederacy. Now you got to remember, the Confederacy was cut in half. So not only could they not move supplies up and down the river, they could not now move supplies across the river to supply their Western armies. And most of those supplies then had to be pirated in through Galveston, up the Red River, and it became quite a mess over there when it came to the supply action. Also, too, on this day, in 1881, the American Red Cross was established by Clara Barton in Washington, D.C. And, of course, we know about the American Red Cross. One of the big things about the American Red Cross and Clara Barton is even up until the Civil War, like there was no idea about sanitary conditions, like people like cutting off an arm and then they just use the same knife and slap it on somebody else's arm. So like the transfusion of blood, dirt, things like that. Well, Clara Barton was a part of the Civil War. She was a nurse during the Civil War, and she actually was instrumental in changing a lot of those sanitary conditions and helping those become more sanitary, which led to the survival of more soldiers towards the end of the war. When we're talking things as silly as don't drink the water downstream from the guys upstream, they would pee in their drinking water. I mean, these guys had no idea. So here we are, 60 years later, talking about sanitation and hygiene. Our ancestors 160 years ago were dirty. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's history, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. As always, it's fun. Take it easy, man. Bye.
Very good. Always, that's one of our oldest running segments now, because we did move on from the National Day. Back in the Bearded Past is one of the original segments. Headlines didn't even make it that far. We started doing headlines late in, I don't think I started headlines until, you know what? I started headlines, I believe, in like October, November of 2020. That's when I think I started the headlines. So Back in the Bearded Past predates that. It's our oldest running bit. All right, here's Gabrielle to ruin some other food. Woo!
No. What? I don't think so. Oh no! Wait, what?
Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Sorry about last week. Got a little busy. No excuse, huh? I should have squeezed it in somewhere. But here I am, I'm back. I thought I might go just take what we eat just a little different. It's still what we eat, might not necessarily what I eat or you eat, but we as a general public out there in the world eat these things. And I came across some really Lulus here. I have to look at my paper here because I can remember how to pronounce it. It's Halka, and it's in Iceland. And it is a, what do they call it? It's a Greenland shark. So this shark, they take it after it's died, and they just let it lay out there, kind of like to rot for a minute, whatever you want to call it. So it rots out there for a while. Then they gather it up, they make sure it's dried completely, and then it's something they eat. Now I know it sounds weird to us. I'm sure to them, they never eat ranch dressing in Europe, and they look at us like we're weird. You eat what? You eat ranch dressing? So I think we probably look at that too, but I don't know. They say it's a really acquired taste. Once I had the thought in my mind of the fish laying dead on the beach and the flies all over it, and then it gets dried more and then you get to eat it. Not so much. But then I don't live in Iceland, right? They eat these funky little birds too, so I don't know, but it's something, right? So shall we say it's a delicacy, and when you go to Iceland you gotta try it? I don't know about that, but it's what they do eat.
Wait, what?
All right, very good. Hopefully everyone's not too turned off by certain foods, and just remember the good thoughts that Clayton had about tasty food. Next up, another new but oldie but goodie. We've seen it. Oh, let me guess, it's gonna be SpongeBob. You don't know it?
I haven't thought of one.
Oh gosh.
Those aren't birds, sweetheart. Those are vampire bats.
Ooh, what big bird!
Those aren't big birds, sweetheart. They're giant vampire bats.
Alright, that is a great re-seen it. The vampire bats are actually a real thing, shockingly, but they're not really as vampire-y as the movies make them out to be. However, if you see pictures of them, you will understand why we depict vampires the way we do. Alright, moving along. And those flying in that clip, those are real bats. They are that big. They're huge. They're big. And no, Joe, no. Or Janiyah, anybody, just no. All right, next up, we have the question of the day.
One food for the rest of your life. What will you choose?
I'll choose pizza.
Pizza? What type of pizza?
Pepperoni pizza.
Well, if I had to pick one food I would want for the rest of my life and nothing else, I'd probably just have lasagna.
Lasagna? Pizza and lasagna are both very good choices.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mine are maybe like baked potatoes or something. I love potatoes.
Yeah.
Ooh, one food. That's a tough one for the rest of my life because my favorite food, I'm going to get tired of my favorite food. My favorite food is not going to be nearly as nutritious as I need because it will shorten my lifespan, so I won't get to enjoy it for too long. So it'd have to be something semi-healthy that I can live a long time, something that I'm not going to get too burnt out on. That's really tough. I don't know what that could be. I'm putting Alana to sleep back there. But these are deep-thoughted questions. Deep-thoughted questions? Deep questions that require serious scrutiny. You can't take it lightly, Alana. You can't. Or you can.
Just tell us you're
I
going to
don't
choose grilled cheese.
Okay, grilled cheese might be on the case, but I'm going to clog my arteries in 2 weeks eating just grilled cheese. And then I'm going to have a coronary heart attack, which isn't actually a thing, kind of, but it won't be good. So I got to do something that's semi-healthy. You got to think about it. That's why we do this. That's why we ask the question of the day. It's just so you can think hard about what's really important in life. And what food I would pick to eat for the rest of my life would be a very important decision. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't make one final decision. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it.
2 very boring minutes later.
But I might drag on for another 4.5 minutes trying to do it. Just kidding. All right, next up, did you know that Carl can answer questions shortly? Sorry, Zach, go ahead.
Did you know a shrimp's heart is located in its head? That's weird. I wonder where its brain is then.
It is actually located on the shrimp's true head, just after its eyes. Having organs located in their head is much more advantageous and safer. It's because the head is covered with thick protective substances. It's much safer to protect their internal organ.
Shrimp's heart's that's actually great. It's a great place. It's like we get confused between our brain and our heart, which one's making the decisions, but it's just in the same place. So the shrimp must be very loving, thoughtful individuals. So we'll pretend. Funny story. Found a turtle in my backyard last week. Big old turtle in the backyard last week, just huge, just stuck in the fence. We had this weird fence, but it was stuck in the fence. The dog was barking, and I went and looked, and there's a big turtle back there. Of course, I had to go get my son to pick it up, so I'm too afraid to do that. But the shrimp just made me think of it. Weird. Now I'm giving a lot of more editing to do. All right, guys, that is it for Tuesday. Have a great Tuesday. We do have our barbecue Friday coming up. We're going to be having something tasty and different because we retired the old grill because we've had it for many, many moons and it's kind of clunky, and it limited our cooking options. We need to cook more tasty stuff and have more variety. Variety is the spice of life. Just like talking about shrimp and turtles. Variety, spice of life. All right, we will see you tomorrow, Wednesday, on the Morning Machine. Take care, everybody.